So while I'm doing deliveries this morning, I had already done a few, and I got to thinking about, how much I do enjoy delivering, and, not to sound boastful or anything, because I'm not trying to, but honestly, I feel confident in the fact that, I'm pretty good at doing it. And, I got all these reviews from, customers saying I'm fast, I'm, stuff like that, and I got good communication and all that. And not only does it make me feel good, but, it really helps me to see that, there are certain things I can do and there's certain things that I can't. And, God had put that in each of us that, there's, some things that you can do and some things that you can't. We have different giftings in different areas that God uses. And I honestly, I guess I can't say it's trial and error, but, it's just finding out what those things are, and I mean, what giftings has God placed in you in which, you enjoy what you do, and, it helps others and it makes you feel good inside. I mean, even though when I'm delivering food and all that, even though I'm getting paid for it, it helps me, to give somebody a kind word, when I let them know I delivered their food, or, I gotta wait for their food to get prepared. So, I try to be courteous in that aspect that, I'll let them know, hey, I'm waiting on your food right now. And then I let them know when I'm on my way. That helps them to know exactly what's going on. And if I encounter a problem, I'll let them know and I'll keep them informed. And I'm saying that, I could see my giftings. I mean, there were jobs that I had in the past that I just couldn't do. And if I couldn't do them, I would stress over it until I honestly got sick physically. I remember this paint line company I worked for under a temp agency, and, I guess I did okay with, like, some aspects where we had these wooden crates with metal parts in them. And since it was a paint line company, the purpose of that place would, they would create parts for assembly lines. And so we would have these big parts come in, and it had to go through a process of cleaning before it would be painted. So we had to get Brillo pads, I guess you would call them that, and we had to scrub on the outside to get all the dirt off. So then, once we did that, we would hang them up with hooks, and it would go into the next room to where we would have to wipe it down with simple green. And then it would go into the next room to where it would be washed with whatever kind of substance they had for that. And, there would be two washers in there next to each other, and they would complete each of the parts. And so after that was done, it would go into the oven to where it would dry up the part and get ready for the paint. And I did that okay, but excuse me, but then I was put into shipping. I don't know if it was temporary because the guy was out, so they put me in there. I didn't know what I was doing. I could not understand it. And so, I mean, something like that could be easy for somebody to understand, but to me, it was hard understanding that stuff. And I would come home at night tired, and I would be thinking about the job, and I would go to bed at night, and I would just wake up early in the morning, and I would just lay there thinking about it, stressing over the job. And I would get into work, and I'm so tired, but God gave me the strength to continue doing it. And so, I mean, that was just something I couldn't do. That was not my gifting. And if I have something that I don't understand, then obviously it's something I can't do. And so that wasn't the only job that I had a problem with. I mean, I worked at this insurance company. I forgot what the name of the position. Coordinator of benefits. And so we would have to go using their systems to look into people's insurance to see if they had any secondary insurance. And I mean, I guess the purpose of that would be to save the company from having to pay extra money out if somebody already has an alternate insurance. So excuse me, I'm tired. So that's what I, basically did. And so I had a hard time understanding it. And, I would stress about it until, I got physically sick. So, there was just certain things I can do, and there are certain things that I can't do. So, I could see obviously what I need to do, and, why stick with something that, you're not good at. And so, with graphics, I love doing graphics. And, it's just unfortunate with the fact that I can't go back to school like I wanted to. I mean, when I went to the school that I was at, the business college, we could go back anytime if they had an opening for refresher courses. That's what I needed. I needed to, learn that stuff because, programs would be updated and we need to know the latest on that. And I couldn't do that. So my only alternative would be to go back to college and relearn everything. And I'm not going to do that. But, I mean, I guess the only way to really learn is to get the updated programs and see videos on them. And really, that's just not something I can do right now financially. But, I enjoy, when I could, doing business cards for people, letterheads, stuff like that. Advertisements. And, I think I'm okay creative-wise. But when you don't know and have an understanding of a certain tool, you're not going to use it. So, what I really wanted to do was to, get the latest on the graphics, what the new things are so you can implement that in. But, like I said, financially, it's just too much to get Photoshop and Illustrator. And there was an issue last time when I tried doing it. And I think they were just honestly trying to screw me over payment-wise. And so I had to get rid of them. So I honestly, I don't know any other alternative to Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. But, that's just another area in which, I love doing, and I think I'm creative in that aspect. And another area is, delivering. I think I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty good customer service wise. And that's what I like doing. And then I see, certain people that have these job positions, and they make a lot of money. And I'm like, man, how do you do that? And it's not about the whole money aspect, but it does help, financial wise. I mean, it would be ideal to have something that you enjoy doing and you can make a good amount of money in doing that, in which there are things that you can get. It would be ideal to be able to buy a nice house and stuff like that. And I see these different guys that have multiple houses, and I'm like, man, what do you do? And, it would be nice to get tips on what to do, so that you can prepare yourself better financially. And, that's wholly different, aspect of, and it's different from, waiting on God's provision and stuff like that. I know what it's like to depend on God and stuff like that. And there's definitely a time in which you need to do that. When the doors close for jobs, or you lose your job and stuff like that, you got to know who your provider is. But it would be nice to get tips from certain people about what to do. What you can do. I mean, especially in my position here, I'm a delivery driver, graphic artist when I have the opportunity. It would be nice to sit down with somebody and say, hey, this is what you can do, to make even more money or stuff like that. And I'm hearing different things in the 17 community where the Federal Reserve is done and no longer will somebody have to pay the high absorbent annual fees for their credit cards or to buy a house and all that. It's not going to be like that anymore. Things have changed. And with the Queen's death, Queen Elizabeth's, a lot has changed according to that. And I heard that we're heading into the 10 days of darkness, where it's communication, but the changes are being made to where we're not, no longer under the Federal Reserve, but we're going to be under the Treasury. And no longer will people have a heck of a time trying to pay their credit cards back or their loans back and stuff like that. Things have changed. So, when I get more information, I want to try to share it with you. So I just wanted to share that with you, that we all have different giftings, and we need to seek God to find out what those giftings are, what we're good at. And if we're good at something, why not pursue it? So I'm going to end it here. Thank you for taking the time to watch.